Check 2. Check 3. Good morning, everybody. We're live. We're live. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. Yeah. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. I'm checking myself. Are you checking yourself? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. My name is Marcus Conti. How you doing? Today is June 13th in the year 2024. I had to check that. June 13th in the year 2024. And we are now less than 6 months out from the presidential election. And it looks like, in this reporter's opinion, I'll say that again. In this reporter's opinion, the pick is Sarah Huckabee Sanders for Vice President of the United States. Why? I don't know. It just occurs to me that I guess is a forward-looking video, or to the people in the future that are watching this, saying, "Man, this guy got it perfect. This guy got it right." I just think Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the pick for a multitude of reasons. Number one is that she's extremely talented. Right, she's a savvy now politician, governor of Arkansas, but her performance, really, what I lean on is her performance as the press secretary. Now, who is better to be Trump's mouthpiece than someone who has already handled aggressively 2 years of the fake news on a daily basis, dealing with CNN, MSNBC. New York Times. I had all the fake news. I had all the garbage propaganda news. It's not fake. It's real news, but it's real only in their own mind. Right? The propaganda news. Sarah Huckabee Sanders was the front line. Right? If anybody had a question for Trump, they had to go through Sarah. Right? Now, historically, there has been, the press secretary is not really looked at as like a cabinet seat, like the Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense, but press secretary is pretty goddamn important. So I think on that note she qualifies, and the fact that she is a woman and she is only 40 years old. Right? And so who are we going to pick? We're going to pick some black guy, some Tim Scott guy, who barely really makes a wave anywhere. Is Tim Scott really going to bring in the black vote? Does Trump really need a black guy to bring in the black vote? Not really. It seems the blacks side with blacks, and they're all siding with Biden. Trump is going to the Bronx and Harlem and saying hello to the blacks and the Latinos. He doesn't need no fucking Tim Scott or some Ben Carson to do it just because they're black. Now, that's not that's not to say that Tim Scott isn't a talented guy, and I do like him. I think he's got a great smile. He's personable, but he's not like grab your balls and wring them out kind of guy like Sarah Huckabee Sanders is. She's tough chick. So I think Trump has a few more minutes left to pick his vice president already. They got to do it before the Republican convention, and it's within the month. By July, by 4th of July, we'll have our answer, and I think it will be Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So, welcome everybody in the chat. Weevil Girl on the wrench. Weevil Girl is here. Jim Gerard is here. David Brown was first. How are you? Crypto Finds headquarters. How are you? Thomas Robinson. Good morning. Good morning. Jerry De Niro, Dindrick Fractals. Good morning, everybody. And everybody who's lurking. Those are the people that are here in the live chat. You're welcome to do that, too. Every morning at 9 a.m. This is my thumbnail today. Done deal. Done deal. Every morning at 9 a.m., we are live right here on YouTube. And you can join us in the chat. Roger Hops here from the good state of Amsterdam on the other side of the pond. And everybody else is here. Morning report, educational, philosophical. You remember what that means. It's educational, based on education and philosophy, right? Rather than propaganda and trying to convince you of something that is unbelievable. As the state of the media today is to convince you, to tell a big lie and convince you that it's true, right? That's what media does. That's what all psychopaths do. That's what media does. That's what Hitler did. Right? They try to convince you that the lesser argument is the stronger argument, and that you're stupid to not see it. Right? That's what lawyers do. How fucking stupid are you? You can't see that what you're saying is. Don't believe your lying eyes. I know the guy pulled the trigger in the video, but he didn't really shoot him. That's what lawyers will say, right? And they do it with total immunity, right? So anyway, man. So that's what the program is all about, and you can help support the program by donating through Zelle, shorthappylife@gmail.com if you know how to do that. PayPal or Patreon are also available as tip jars. And we're going to have a great season, man. This is going to be an amazing election season. You talk about shenanigans and chaos and fucking dirty tricks in American politics, and you're gonna see it all. It's gonna be all. It already is all on display. They're already locking each other up, locking up the son of the president, locking up the contender for the presidency, trying to lock everybody up. Right? Trump's vision, lock her up, is happening. Right? And that's only the beginning of it. But instead, if you want to vote for this guy, if you think that this guy's the winner. We got to turn the volume off because there's a dirty song in there. Here's Joe Biden frozen like a deer in the headlights. Look at his hands. He's stiff. He's stiff. He's like the rodent who dies on the road, and he just hasn't flipped over on his back yet. How you doing? I'm here. What's going on, man? What's going on? What the fuck is going on today? I have got to take one massive grandpa shit right now. Why was those black people? Why am I hanging out with those black people? I thought it was white. I'm surrounded by blacks. There's Weevil Girl says Jill Stein's Jill Stein voter here. Yeah, Jill Stein. Jill Stein's in there too. So there it is. I mean, look, when I'm talking about this, it is my opinion, but I'm more about who do I think could win. Right? That's the more important thing. As we watch Joe Biden, this is the leader of the free world. This guy's gone. Right? He froze. Now we don't know what's going on in his mind right now because he's not speaking. But if Joe Biden has this kind of a moment while he's like in front of important people and he's delivering an important speech, right, about something important, we're fucked. And so is he, right? That's the deal breaker right there. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Joe Biden to have one of these so that he can appoint this right here, Kamala Harris, or by default, who else? She already thinks she's the president. Kamala Harris says, I'm a shoo-in for the president. But you know what, Kamala? Nobody likes you. You were deemed by the Democratic Party to be what? Unelectable. Bernie Sanders wiped the floor with you. Elizabeth Warren mopped the floor with you as well. And so did Joe Biden, right? Nobody wanted Kamala Harris. Why are they suddenly going to want her now? Is the point. And the other point is Kamala Harris, we got to talk about her because if Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the VP pick, she's going to face off against Kamala Harris in a debate. All right? Whoever the VP pick is going to face off against Kamala Harris. And you want to tell me that Kamala Harris is going to outdupe Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the racist affirmative action vice president Kamala Harris, debunked law enforcement in her own state of California, right? She locked up more blacks than anybody. And she's going to tee off against Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I think that would be a slaughter match. So watch this later, maybe. Fucking, there's Joe Biden freezing his ass off. So let's look at what the news, for lack of a better term, is saying. Inside Trump's VP pick, top contenders. Who are the top contenders? All right, so everybody's loving Tim Scott. Now, I tell you, I like Tim Scott. Tim Scott's he's charismatic. He doesn't sweat. You never see him sweat. You know what I mean? You ever see somebody that you barely ever see break under pressure? Every time I've seen Tim Scott in an interview, asked a tough question, he's perfect. He's very, very good, and he brings it back to Trump. Is that enough? I don't know. He's too smiley in my opinion. This guy, he's just rich. Doug Burgum. Right? Doug Burgum is a pick because everybody thinks that because he's got a lot of money, that's going to buy him, his ability to raise money. I know billionaires. It doesn't matter what I say. That's another Mike Pence, right? Trump already made the era of getting some super passive, gray-haired white guy to stand behind him and echo. You don't want that. You want. There's Tim Scott again. Who else? This guy, I know, J.D. Vance. Don't know. Never heard of him. Have no fucking idea. Cannot. In this reporter's mind, I cannot recall a single time seeing J.D. Vance on the camera saying anything worth listening to. I've never heard of him. Right? I've never heard of him enough in terms of talking about him. Only now, and that's not enough. So other contenders. So those are the three, and then there's Marco Rubio. But that's my pick right there. Look at that picture, right? There it is. Right. There's your vice president. What more do you fucking need to know? Is she comfortable at the podium? Of course she is. You try to defend yourself against an army of fake news every day for Trump, right? She dealt with all of the corruption that is the media. So she's the perfect candidate. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, 47th governor of Arkansas. She's not just some chick that's running, that had a good face for camera. She's the governor, sitting governor of Arkansas. Her father was the governor. It's like the Cuomos of New York, the Huckabees of Arkansas. Inaugurated January 10, 2023. People say, "Oh, that was 10 minutes ago." She doesn't have any experience. Well, she has experience. That's the press secretary, and a lot of experiences before that. She is the youngest sitting governor in the country. Sarah has enacted transformable conservative reforms, whatever that means, including higher education. Okay, she's done all kinds of things. In her 100 days, Sarah delivered the Republican response to President Joe Biden's State of the Union. I have that queued up. I'm going to play that later. We'll listen to that on the way out. But that was a good speech as well. What I want to really look at is her ability to fend off the media, because that's really what we're talking about. Trump is a media guy. Trump is a charismatic, iconic piece who talks and expresses himself. And you need someone like that. You need someone like him to understand him. And I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders is your pick. Prior to her historic victory, She served as press secretary for Donald Trump from 2017 to 2019. Trusted confidant, of the president. She was an advisor to the president as the secretary. She's a former secretary, executive secretary. That's pretty powerful. That's right up there. I put that up there with any other secretary. Why not? Sarah joined Trump's campaign 2016. What else can we find out? Time Magazine, 40 under 40. She's one of the most recognized New York Times best-selling author. That's not much anymore. Anybody can become a New York Times best-selling author if you have a lot of money. All you got to do is buy 50,000 of your own books and give them away, which a lot of people do. A lot of rich people do that. They buy. No one wants their books, so they buy 50,000 of them, and they go down to every nursing home in America and give away free copies. Or they go to the supermarket and leave them on the fucking checkout desk. You can get their book for free, most people. But I don't think Sarah Huckabee Sanders went that route. Sarah, only a lot of New York Times people do that. Sarah grew up in Pine Bluff and Texarkana. So she grew up in Arkansas. She went to a little high school, Little Rock High School, and Owachi Baptist University in Arkansas. So she's really true to her state. Her father was the governor. And kick it, Sarah.
You said that the president was joking about his comments, putting suspects' heads, telling police officers they shouldn't cover their heads and putting them in the car. Was he making a joke about police brutality?
Not at all. I think you guys are jumping and trying to make something out of nothing. He was simply making a comment, making a joke, and it was nothing more than that.
Sarah, what's funny about
Should he apologize?
I'm gonna get to that part of it in a second. Let's look at a better one.
With all due respect, you actually don't know much about me in terms of what I feel and what I don't.
Oh, it's the same one. Sorry. Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
My name is Dylan Harbin, but everybody calls me Pickle. I'm 9 years old and you're my favorite president. I like you so much that I had a birthday about you. My cake was the shape of your hat. I'm happy to say that I directly spoke to the President, Dylan, and he would be more than happy to be your friend. He is going to be leaving the White House. It won't be immediate, but he is resigning from the White House, but is going to stay on to ensure that there's a smooth transition.
She speaks directly to the American. She speaks directly to the heart, right? That's a gift. That's a gift, right?
Moving forward. I think that was a personal decision that Rob made, and one that he was not pressured to do, but one that he made on his own. Again, I gave you the best.
I hope we don't get tagged for that music in the background, but we may.
Information that I had, and the allegations, the president has denied and continues to deny the underlying claim. I think it's a fairly simple answer that I've given you actually several times now. I gave you the best information that I had, and I'm going to continue to do my best to do that every single day.
See, that's the way you answer the press. They keep pushing you on the same stupid question, and you just stick to the answer. I already answered your stupid question. Next.
I'm not going to get in and relitigate the Civil War, just like I told you yesterday. I think I've addressed the concerns that a lot of people had and the questions that you had, and I'm not going to relitigate history here.
And I'm going to ask the question again.
Why don't you ask it in the way that you're apparently accusing me of being?
I'm not accusing. I'm asking the question, Sarah, seriously.
Disgusting and absurd to suggest that anyone inside of this building would support slavery. And this will be our last press briefing before the Thanksgiving holiday in this room. So I want to share a few things that I'm thankful for. I'm clearly very thankful for all of you here in the room. If you want to ask a question, I think it's only fair, since I've shared what I'm thankful for, that you start off with what
this position that she had. She revolutionized the press secretary, where she elevated it. And thanks to Trump picking her, Sarah Huckabee Sanders elevated the press secretary position to new heights, in my view.
You're thankful for.
I'm thankful for 20 years in this job. I'm thankful to be able to talk to you and question you every single day.
Oh boy, she's happy. What else we
Good
got?
afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right. I certainly don't think that the president at any point has done anything but condemn violence against journalists or anyone else.
He body slammed a reporter. Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind.
Were you lying to us at the time, or were you in the dark?
The president has denied and continues to deny the underlying claim.
How are the American people to trust?
The fact that she has to defend, her job was to defend every stupid thing that Trump said. Right? Like he was talking about body slamming. That's a wrestling. Wrestlers body slam each other in the ring. It's not to say that he's encouraging it outside of the ring. And you're overeducated and stupid if you think that that's what it means. Trump's advocating go around body slamming people. No, he's talking about wrestling. And wrestling is mostly fake, isn't it?
Or believe what is said here or what is said by the president?
We give the very best information that we have at the time.
So,
They were
and for the
actually
leader-
they were direct conversations, not actual phone calls.
So he lied. He didn't receive it.
You could look at her. You could look at her and say, "Well, she's not as sophisticated as the media," or you can say she's absolutely more sophisticated because she makes them look stupid. She makes their questions seem ridiculous. That most like there's no common sense to what you're asking, Miss New York Times or Miss CNBC. Or Miss Maddow. What you're saying is stupid, right? And she's not saying it in those words. She's just it's clear that what you're saying is so ridiculous and so uncommon that nobody would believe it. How do you believe it? How much are they paying you to say this bullshit? Right? That's my impression of the way she unwinds media. That's what you need. You need someone like that.
I wouldn't say it was a lie. It was.
I hope the Trump camp is listening. Trump Jr. and the rest of you guys. Pick fucking Sarah, man.
Pretty bold accusation.
John, though, that sharing those videos might incite violence against Muslims, and does he understand that he's elevated a fringe political group that many people outside of Britain didn't even know about until?
Look, I think what he's done is elevate the conversation.
This jerk off. Do you hear what she just said? She's talking about Muslim nonsense in England.
Look, I think what he's done is elevate the conversation to talk about a real issue and a real threat, and that's extreme violence.
And these children who are being separated from their families as they come across the border. The Attorney General earlier today said that somehow there's a justification for this in the Bible.
I can say that it is very biblical to enforce the law. That is actually repeated a number of times throughout.
It's very biblical to. That's amazing.
Throughout the Bible. I know it's hard for you to understand, even short sentences, I guess, and please don't take my words out of context. It's
hard to understand even short sentences. This is a hero right here. She's your next president, 28. She's 2028. She's the president.
And please don't take my words out of context, but the separation of illegal alien families.
And you throw children in cages. You're a parent. You're a parent of young children. Don't you have any empathy for what they go through?
This is the accusation that Trump was putting kids in cages. He was not.
Jill, go ahead.
Why can't you acknowledge that what you said then was not true?
The president is going to say the fake news media are the enemy of the people. And if you're going to stand there and continue to say that there are some journalists, some news outlets in this country that meet that characterization, shouldn't you have the guts, Sarah, to state which outlets?
No, that's not her job to call you a jerk off, right? And see how the self-serving media shouldn't, because you're saying that our media is corrupt, shouldn't you be naming us personally, right? Right, because when she says your name, she elevates you to a higher level. Right? They're fucking so corrupt, right? The media. Right? Talk about me so that everybody hears my name. That's essentially what they're doing. And you need someone that says this after it.
Which journalists are the enemy of the people?
Well, I think it's irresponsible of a news organization like yours to blame responsibility of a pipe bomb that was not sent by the president.
Right. So they were accusing Trump of sending a pipe bomb or something ridiculous, right?
Does the president really believe Democrats hate Jews?
Look, the president's been an unwavering and committed ally to Israel and the Jewish people.
You're saying something that's just patently untrue. I mean, obviously,
Stating their policy positions
but
is not
Democrats
patently
don't. But
untrue.
Democrats.
Look at that audience, right? You think that if anything qualifies you to be the vice president, right? To be on the grill, to be right in front of the most expensive fake news, right? Deep-pocketed billionaire class corporate news, right? You're standing right in front of them, and you got to fucking listen to their garbage, right? That's what qualifies her.
Don't hate you.
That picture right there. That's the qualifier right there.
People, it's just silly. It's not true.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Thanks so much, guys. With that, I will say good afternoon. We'll see you next time. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Wanted to call her up. She's a special person, a very, very fine woman. She has been so great. She has such heart. She's strong, but with great, great heart. And I want to thank you for an outstanding job. And thank you. Come. Thank you.
Oh, man.
I'll try not to get emotional because I know that crying can make us look weak sometimes, right? This has been the honor of a lifetime, the opportunity of a lifetime. I couldn't be prouder to have had the opportunity to serve my country and particularly to work for this president. He has accomplished so much in these 2.5 years, and it's truly been something I will treasure forever. The only one I can think of that might top it just a little bit is the fact that I'm a mom. I have 3 amazing kids, and I'm going to spend a little more time with them. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to be one of the most outspoken and loyal supporters of the president
And she went on to run for Arkansas president and won.
his agenda.
Right? That's where she went, right? If you're wondering where she went.
Thanks for that show.
Who's this guy? I think I got a little more. Which ones did we watch already? I think I got a little more here. No, we watched them all. Oh, it's this one. Here, look at Sarah Huckabee Sanders' memorable. There's so much music going on there. Let's look at the stock market. Stock market is open. Ding! Holy shit! It's open and we're up again. Wow! For the market participants, good on you. Look at this. Look at them go. Look at them go. I can't get back to my channel. Uh-oh, we're jammed. Oh, we got a jam. We've got a jam. Got to exit. Oh, snap. I don't know what's happening here. We got to wait for... Oh, there we go. Waiting for this thing to queue up. What the fuck happened, man? All right, so let's talk about it. Tesla is up 9. Holy smokes, 184. 186. Tesla up 9. Everything else is pretty much... I don't know what just happened to Yahoo Finance. It crashed. Yahoo Finance crashed. Everybody's looking. Apple is up 191. That's up $1.92. I'm sorry, to 215. That's a good move for Apple. Google hanging 177. Amazon 185. Meta down a little bit. Microsoft down. What about Nvidia? What's Nvidia? Nvidia is up $4 a share today. So the markets are roaring back. Well, the Dow's down. Dow's down 146. NASDAQ is up 109, another 109. So markets are looking rather healthy. On the Bitcoin front, people are concerned about Bitcoin. It's down to $1,100 today to 67,900 or 68. Let's call it 68. Not a big deal. It already creeped over 70,000. All the military industrial complex stocks, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, all down. The pharmaceutical industrial complex, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, also down today. So that's probably what's dragging drugs and bombs. I heard there's a Russian fucking fleet of Russian ships off the coast of Cuba. Have you heard? I bet the United States is watching that right now. It was on the front page of the paper. I'm not talking about it because it's something that Russia has always done. Russia has a cozy relationship with Cuba, with Venezuela, with any country really over there that will give them some real estate to park a boat. And Russia has had nuclear-powered ships in Cuba for a long time. They just don't. They're allegedly not carrying nuclear bombs. But anyways, maybe that's why the military-industrial complex stocks are out. The United States does that all over the world, by the way. We have bases off, 10 miles off the coast of China. We have nuclear bombs pointed at Moscow in Poland. So let's not talk about Russia's nefarious boat in the Cuban harbor, right? Please. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, take it away. I will see you guys next
Sarah
Monday.
Huckabee.
I'll see you guys next Monday. We're going to listen and
Sanders.
This is the response to Joe Biden's State of the Union address. And here's Sarah Huckabee Sanders speaking to the American people. Folksy as it gets. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Vice President.
Being a mom to 3 young children taught me not to believe every story I hear. So forgive me for not believing much of anything I heard tonight from President Biden. From out-of-control inflation and violent crime to the dangerous border crisis and threat from China. Biden and the Democrats have failed you.
There's a little bit of a ring in the audio. How come she didn't correct that? How come somebody didn't get a good microphone in front of Sarah's face?
They know it, and you know it.
I hear the ring because I got a headset on. There's a bit of a ring in there.
And it's time for a change. Tonight, let us reaffirm our commitment to a timeless American idea that government exists not to rule the people, but to serve the people.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats want to rule us with more government control, but that's not who we are. America is the greatest country the world has ever known because we're the freest country the world has ever known, with a people who are strong and resilient.
You know the Casey name, but can you identify anything Bob's accomplished for Pennsylvania instead of
5 months ago, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. It was a hard time for our family, particularly our kids, Scarlett, Huck, and George. But we kept our faith and persevered. Thanks to exceptional doctors here in Arkansas, a successful surgery, and the grace of God, I am cancer-free. Through it all, I couldn't help but think about my mom. She was 20 years old and in her first year of marriage when she was diagnosed with spinal cancer. The doctors told her she might not live, and if she did live, they said she'd never walk again. And if she did walk, she'd definitely never have children. The daughter she was told she'd never have was just sworn in as the new governor of Arkansas and is speaking to you tonight. Adversity and fear of the unknown can paralyze us, but faith propels us to charge boldly ahead. We can't stand still in the face of great challenges. You and I were put on this earth for such a time as this, to charge boldly ahead. I'll be the first to admit, President Biden and I don't have a lot in common. I'm for freedom, he's for government control. At 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. And at 80, he's the oldest president in American history. I'm the first woman to lead my state, and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is. In the radical left's America, Washington taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire. But you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another on account of their race, but not to love one another or our great country. Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left. The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy. It's time for a new generation of Republican leadership. Upon taking office just a few weeks ago, I signed executive orders to ban CRT, racism, and indoctrination in our schools, eliminate the use of derogatory term Latinx in our government, repealed COVID orders, and said never again to authoritarian mandates and shutdowns. Americans want common sense from their leaders, but in Washington, the Biden administration is doubling down on crazy.